Okay, so we just did example 1 where your quadratic was already set equal to 0. Okay, and we factored it. We're going to factor this one here. But before we do, remember this here must equal 0. Please forgive my handwriting. So what we'll do first is we'll take this one, and this has to be 0. To make 3 a 0, we subtract 3. We change the color there. Here we go. From both sides, we subtract it from the 8 because those are your like terms. And now we get 4x squared plus this. I don't know why I wrote a k there. That should be an x. Plus 9x plus 5 equals, and now we have 0. Now we can factor. Okay, so here's our box. Your a and c term. Remember, we have here, this is your ax squared plus bx plus c. So your a term is 4x squared. Your c term is plus 5. Now we find our factors. A times c is 4 times 5, which is 20. And your b term right here is 9. So we need factors of 20 whose sum equals 9. And you can start at the beginning, but if you already know, and it's pretty easy on this one because you just multiplied those numbers, 4 and 5. 4 times 5 gives you 20, but they also add up to 9, which is what you need right here. So these are your factors, positive 4 and positive 5. So plus 4x plus 5x. And now we start factoring. Now we start finding our GCFs here. So here, GCFs of 4 and 5 is a 1. And then you have an x, so it's just 1x, or x. Now what multiplies it and works? X times what gives you 4x squared? Well, 4x. Then the top right, x times positive 5 gives you 5x. Then the bottom left, 4x times positive 1 gives you 4x. So that gives us our two factors over here on the right of x plus 1 times 4x plus 5. Now remember, we're solving. It equals 0 over here, so it still equals 0. Because this here represents that same quadratic. Okay? And now we're going to solve two separate small equations. X plus 1 equals 0. Solve for x, you get x equals negative 1. Now, do the same thing with the other set of parentheses. 4x plus 5 equals 0. Subtract 5 from both sides. Then divide by 4. Get x equals negative 5/4. So now we have two answers. Most of the time you'll have two answers. Sometimes you won't. Remember, you can either have one answer, two answers, or 0 answers. These are all the same as your solutions, your x-intercepts. So here we're going to say x equals negative 5/4. Please go ahead and leave that as a fraction. So negative 5/4, comma, negative 1. And there's your answers. Two examples right there.